and Gail's mini module on subject-verb agreement.
And I'm Betsy. Today's lesson focuses on the simple present tense for subject-verb agreement.
Yes, Betsy, and in this lesson, we're going to discuss what a verb is, the difference between a state of being verb and an action verb, and how to properly conjugate the present tense.
So, Gail, let's get started.
Okay.
What is a verb? A verb is a part of speech. There are a total of 8 parts of speech, and the verb is the one that expresses an action or a state of being.
That's correct, Betsy. Let's review some examples.
The first one, Marta kicks the ball. Kicks is the verb, and it is an action verb since it shows what someone or something is doing.
That's right, and look at that ball go. Manolo is a handsome businessman. The verb in this sentence is, and is a state of being verb. State of being verbs do not express action. They link the subject to the predicate in a sentence. That's why they're called linking verbs. They also can refer to the subject's state or condition. These are also known as stative or linking verbs. These verbs describe or identify the subject.
That's right, Gail. And some examples of state of being verbs are appear, be, become, feel, grow, look, remain, seem, smell, sound, stay, and taste. But there are many more state of being verbs than those I just mentioned.
Very true, Betsy. Let me give an example. The singer appears nervous. In this sentence, appears is a linking verb and links the singer to being nervous. So it is a state of being verb.
Interesting, Gail. But remember that many of the linking verbs can also be action verbs. Let me give you an example. The singer appears on television. In this case, appear is an action that occurs, so it is an action verb.
Wow. So, let's see if we can identify the types of verbs in the following sentences. We will read the sentences and you decide whether the verb is action or state of being.
All right, let's go. Number 1. Paso finos are unique horses. Can you guess the type of verb? Action or state of being? State of being, because the verb is are, from the verb to be. And it links paso fino, the subject, to horses, the predicate.
That's right. The definition of paso fino is fine step. The verb is. It is a state of being verb and links the definition to fine step.
Good, Gail. What about number 3? This horse walks with a fast 4-beat pace. The verb is walks. And in this case, it is an action verb.
Yes, it is. Number 4, with a paso largo, the horse trots up to 30 miles per hour. The verb is trots. Trots means to walk with one foot after the other. It is an action verb.
Good for you. Let's go to the next one. Paso fino horses are powerful. What do you think it is, Gail?
State of being?
That's correct. It is a state of being verb.
Wow, we're getting good at this. Number 6, paso finos impress many horse enthusiasts. The verb is impress. What do you think it is? As we mentioned, state of being verbs describe the subject, not the object. So it is an action verb, and horse lovers are fascinated with the horse.
That's right, Gail. Now for the last sentence. Betsy and Gail love seeing paso fino horses. Love is what? An action verb because it expresses a mental action. And we do love those paso fino horses.
We sure do. So what is a verb tense? A tense tells us when an action or state of being takes place.
That's correct, Gail. And now we will talk about the present tense. The present tense indicates action that takes place now, at the present, or that occurs
Always
repeatedly
or habitually. So, keeping in mind that the present tense tells actions or states of beings for present day actions or actions that occur always, repeatedly, or habitually, let's review the following sentences.
All right, the first sentence. The children are ready to leave for school. That sentence talks about when? Right now.
Yes, David and Samuel take a bus every day. That action is habitual, a daily habit.
Roxana eats cereal for breakfast. I think Roxana is eating cereal right now. Ay, I'm hungry.
Me too. Carlos awakens at 6 o'clock in the morning. Wow, Carlos gets up early every day.
My parents work every day. That sentence is habitual, and my parents do work hard every day.
I am 22 years old. Yes, I am. Notice that it is incorrect to say I have 22 years. Never say that. Always say I am with your age and with other people's ages as well.
So, now that you know about action and state of being verbs, verb tenses, and the present tense, here are some useful tips. Third person, that is, he, she, or it, takes a singular verb that usually ends with an S.
So the third person singular for he, she, or it would be Edgardo runs, because that's he. Maria swims, because that's she. The article explains, because that's it. My teacher wants, because that's she. The magazine describes, because that's it.
Good, Gail. That's very good. And the first and third person plural, we and they, take the plural verb with no S. Let me read you some examples. My friends and I is we, so it's run. Maria and Carla, it's they, swim. The textbooks, they explain. The teachers, plural they, want. And the authors, again plural they, describe without the S.
Wow, Betsy, that's tricky. The verb ends with S when it's one person, he, she, or it, and doesn't end with S when it's first person or singular or plural, I and we, second person singular, you, or more than one person, like they.
I know what you mean, Gail, but these are English rules. They need to be learned.
So now let's practice with the present tense and complete the sentences in the proper present tense. Remember, he, she, and it are almost always have a verb that ends with S. I, you, we, and they have verbs that don't end with an S.
Let's begin with the first sentence. Pedro to ride his bike to school. What would the verb be? It is rides with an S because Pedro is a he.
So Pedro rides.
That's right.
Well, good. Let's go to number 2. Jaime to fish with his grandfather on Saturdays. Jaime's he, so then that's his he, she, it that has to end with an S.
That's right.
So it's Jaime fishes.
Very good.
And he fishes with his grandfather on Saturdays.
I wish I could. Okay, let's look at the third one. It's a little harder because it has 2 verbs. Are you ready? The girls to swim and to dive at the community pool. Let's look at this, Gail, carefully. The girls. How many are there, Gail?
Well, there's more than one.
So it's they. So the verb would be swim. And what about dive? To dive, would it be dive or dives? What do you think, Gail?
I think it's dive.
That's right. It doesn't end with an S because we were talking about how many girls? More than one. Good. The next sentence, Gail.
So number 4, Roberto to train Pasofino horses. I like this sentence.
I do too.
Roberto is he, so the verb should end with an S. So Roberto trains Pasofino horses.
Very good. Lastly, we have he to be one of the best trainers in Puerto Rico. We look at that. It is he. It is singular, so the verb ends with an S. So it is. Oh, that was fun.
It sure was. So it's time to review what we've learned today.
Okay. The present tense is used for actions in the present or actions that occur repeatedly.
And
always and habitually as well.
That's right, Betsy. I was just checking to see. And third person singular is he, she, or it. And third person singular takes a singular verb with an S.
Good. Okay. The third person plural takes a plural verb without the S. Remember, the third person plural is they. But this rule also applies to I, you, and we.
Good point, Betsy.
So now I think you're ready to practice on your own.
Good idea, Betsy. How do they do that?
Well, Gail, I'm going to tell them right now. Just hold on to your Pasofino horses.
You're funny, Betsy.
Thank you, I know. Now, find your tutor and ask for the simple present tense handout, or you can print it out from this online module.
That's right, Betsy. This is on the simple present tense handout, keeping in mind everything you've learned in today's lesson.
After you've finished, review your answers with your tutor.
And good luck.
See you again in another mini module.
Bye.